Hi, my name is Jerry and I collect 1960s and 70s toys, and today I'm behind this wall of Matchbox playsets. I was born in 1968, I grew up in the 1970s, and at least as far as Sweden and Europe goes, back in the 1970s, I think Matchbox just killed it with their playsets. They were above anybody else in the market at the time. I never got a playset from Matchbox of my own back then, but now I have all the ones they released. I've done a few videos on these actually, like this one, the military one, the counterattack in 1/32 scale. Also, I did a video on the Beachhead Assault, which is like a 1/76 scale. But they also did a few civilian kind of themed play sets like this one, the container port. They also did, what's it called, the railway goods yard and the Sea King Harbor. But today I'm going to have a look at the container port. And I'll try to show you everything. First, I'll have a look at the box and the box art, because these are just fantastic looking, I gotta say. And then we'll check what's in the box, and then I'll set the whole thing up and see if it looks cool, if it looks like it would have been fun to have. And I mean, I think we know the answer to that already. But yeah, let's just get started. So first, the box art on this thing. I don't know whoever made all these watercolor box art for the play sets. The artists for scale models are more known with Airfix and Matchbox, but these I'm not sure of. But it's just so cool with everything set up like this. You can see all the little cranes and the ship and everything. And always, like these on the sides they have with most of their play sets, you get some of the equipment in here, but also they're like in a little scene, so it looks really, really great. Also, like just that it's just not the toy. They actually added, harbor in the back, so you get some depth to it. It looks really, really nice. On the side, you always get a Happy Kid, usually with both Airfix and Matchbox. Happy Kid playing with his new playset. Sides are just parts of the main box art. And then here on this side, this is always great as well to see what's inside. So you got the background, you got the little supports for it, and then you actually they number what you get, so that's really, really nice. So you get one of those flatbed trucks, another little container truck there, forklift, train, like just one shunter little engine there, and then 3 cars for it, 6 plastic containers and a ship, and then some kind of a harbor container moving thing, whatever these would be called. It's not a crane. Or maybe it's like a container crane or something. Then you get, I think 6 cardboard containers. And then you get a telehandler. And you get another one of these that they use in a container harbor. And then you get the little crane as well. So there's a lot of stuff in here. Inside the box, I figure we do the playmat last. Here we go. This is pretty neat. Imagine opening this up and seeing all this stuff in here. I try to set it up the best I could, the way I think it's supposed to be. This crane thing there's some slots for it here, and this crane as well. And then this vehicle, whatever it's called, had his own little spot in there. Really neat. And of course, the plastic insert here to hold the vehicles. I think this just looks really, really cool. And everything is on it. 2 blue containers, 2 red to orange. You got the Sea Land, you got the shunter engine, and you got the telehandler. And this, the forklift, I think most of us had at least one of these. The ship on this is just a very basic, but I think it's fine. It works. I think the plastic on the Matchbox back then is really good. It's very durable, solid, and it seems that they don't fade very much at all over time. And the cardboard container for this set, of course, was already put together, so I don't have to do that, because I think this actually been played with a little bit. And then you got the stands for the backdrop, and you put them together with these. The playmat is so big, it's hard to fit in the frame the way I have the camera set up right now. But it's neat. You got some loading bays, you got the backdrop. I really, really like the backdrops, that they put the effort in on doing that with the stands. It looks really cool. So you got loading bays, you got some train tracks. I'm going to see if I can get the railway goods yard train tracks out and see if they actually match the radius of the curve and everything, because that's really cool if it does. You got the little, where you put the container ship, of course, to unload. And then you have a little storage space here. Pretty good playmat. And let's put it all up and see how it looks. All right, all set up, and it looks really cool. There's so much fun stuff in this place here to do. First, you got the container storage area here with a movable crane, and then you got the dock for the container ship and the big crane for that. You can unload and load both from track and road. Back here you have a little separate loading dock with the crane. You got the train tracks and you got the little shunter train there. All the way in the back here you have some loading docks and some open space. And that's one thing I think they could have done maybe a little bit different, because this space back here is just flat. It's just painted on the playmat, all the stuff. So maybe they should have done it a little bit wider. And, you know, because most of the play things, or whatever you want to call the play features, are up front here. So maybe make it a little bit wider and make that area more accessible and easier to play with. Because, for instance, there's some markings on the playmat here that this loading dock is supposed to be up here. If I had done this, maybe would have done 2 container storage areas up front. So you can move that over, and then maybe have that loading dock with the crane a little bit further back, just to fill out the area a little bit more. But let me show you some of the really, really cool details now. So the feature on these 2 cranes work really, really well. For this one though, you see the white rubber band is actually a Lego rubber band. This was broken. But if you have the right one, I'm going to try to get a better one later. It's a little bit tighter. You can actually lift the containers high enough to get them on top of the others or move them past, just like in a real container storage area. This one works the same way. Just pull it down, grab the container, lift it up, move it in, and you can get the maybe little train in there. Put the container on it, let go, and it's done. So that works really, really well, I think. This one works a little bit differently. It's just a plastic that flexes to grip the container, put it on there, and then it's actually just pulling this tab here down, putting it in another slot, maybe there, moving the crane over, maybe lift it up a little bit so you're in the right position, and it gets kind of fiddly, but then you just drop it down on the truck, release, and then you're off. Kind of neat. One thing I realized with these as well is that, you know, of course the telehandler is going to be the vehicle, lifting vehicle that can lift the whole containers. The forklift, it still fits to lift the container, but it's going to be too heavy. So this, I would have played it like it was actually unloading the truck instead, because this container is the only one, I believe, with opening rear doors. So that one could do that on, you know, up here on the loading base, and then you can use the telehandler just to grab containers, move them, and maybe put them on the train. Works good. One thing I said I wanted to check out was to see if the curve radius for the Matchbox tracks fit this one. Kind of, sort of, not perfectly, but it's kind of neat. It would have been fun to have the train tracks with this set, but not necessary though. I don't know what you think, but I think this is an awesome little set. I realized that the empty area back here, I probably would have used just to put more trucks to play with, and probably some just vehicles for the people working in the container yard to drive to work and back. I probably would use it for that. So the rear space, I think, is not that bad now that I think of it. And other than that, I think that's it for this video. Catch you guys later. Cheers.